Okay, guys, I have another kind of crazy theory, but I'm wondering what you guys think. So because I'm autistic, I've been like noodling on this all weekend. My daughter and I, we did all the scavenger hunts. We looked at the videos, trying to figure out clues and figure out what's going on and what's together. And as we were looking for clues in the videos, and here's the thing, like the Easter eggs with this album are insane. They're just everywhere. When I looked at some of the different QR code videos, they had all kinds of crazy references. There was obvious references like a rose growing in the icy ground, or, an award on the floor. Some of those were directly lyrical, but others of them were like Taylor lore. So for example, the video that was in Milan, I think, that was of a hotel room in Tokyo, Japan. Well, Googling Taylor Swift in Tokyo, Japan, Tokyo is where the Reputation Stadium tour kicked off. And, there was another video that had the snake and butterfly imaging. Well, it turns out in Japan that imaging was also very meaningful, as transfiguration is a big part of their culture. So I couldn't make any sense of what went together. It just seemed like it's kind of all crammed in there. Although I did get the feeling from some of the videos that they were maybe like two versions of the same song. And so it got me wondering, the opinions about this album are so divided that it makes me wonder, are we even listening to the same album? And when I think about all the Shakespeare references, Shakespeare plays always had two layers like that. So it was fun, pop culture for the time. That was pop culture. That was the entertainment of the time. And so there were very funny parts. There were lots of dick jokes. But there were lots of layers too, so everybody could enjoy it. You had the less educated people who understood the jokes. They contained the jokes of the time, and so you have the peasants or the poor people who really think it's funny, and then the more educated people. There's really deep references to history and other parts of literature. Another theme that I'm seeing around the marketing is the number 5. 5 keeps showing up a lot. And so for example, the poems that came out of those videos on YouTube, they turn into 5 different poems, I believe all written in iambic pentameter, although I haven't looked at them closely enough to see that. And so it made me think, what if this album is two different things? Both of these things can be true, is what she, one of her mantras. So I wonder if that's what this is. So they're poppy, they're really fun, they're genre songs, so they're really catchy. So there's something there for the average person. And then underneath the surface, there's all kinds of Easter eggs, there's all kinds of deep Taylor lore, there's all kinds of really deep cultural references to George Michael's, his battle with his record company to get his masters. There's all kinds of crazy lore in there, and it felt like it was written for us in that way, because we are crazy and obsessive and insane and are parasocial in that way. And so it's like she inserted so much of that for us so that like we would get the joke, which is why I think bringing us all together to watch it first before anyone else, for me, that like cemented those songs into my brain. Like they have been in there nonstop. But then I keep seeing, like I said, all these other really deep layers. She talks about Shakespeare so much in the behind the scenes. The lead single, for God's sake, is the Fate of Ophelia. So it feels like this album is her version of Shakespeare. This is her first folio. It's relevant, it's fresh, it's really smart, and if this is the case, my mind is totally blown because I already love the album. I already have a ton of respect for Taylor and how smart she is and how deep and complex and meaningful her songs are. But then being able to infuse the language play, the sensibilities of Shakespeare, the pacing of Shakespeare, like I said, all Shakespeare plays have 5 acts. And so it gives the songs a story feel. They have kind of a beginning, middle, and end. But it gives the album kind of that as well. It progresses through lots of different things. And so it's almost like what we're seeing there is the deepest version of Taylor. This is Taylor to us. The things that she's singing about in the life of a showgirl. It's not just the life of any showgirl. It's in her life, and she's being personal, I think, in a way that is really vulnerable, but it's also kind of hidden and camouflaged from everybody else. So it's almost like she's bringing us into her circle, her circle of trust, her circle of people that love her and support her and believe in her. So I know this is long, but I'm really curious to know what you guys think. Am I totally crazy? Please tell me, please help me so I can stop hyperfixating on this album.